Ladies and gentlemen, Raiders star player Chandler Jones claims to be revealing a secret soon about the Raiders owner Mark Davis. Plus, there is an update on Jakobi Meyers' health and Hunter Renfrow. There's some speculation about something that may be happening to him soon. And for this Sunday, a major NFL figure believes the Raiders could upset the Bills. We're gonna break this down. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Raiders content. And remember, we'll be doing play-by-play and reaction and highlights during the game, 10 a.m. Pacific time on this channel. The news dropped today that Jakobi Meyers has officially been ruled out for the upcoming matchup between the Raiders and the Buffalo Bills. He suffered a devastating hit against the Denver Broncos. He was down for a considerable amount of time, and all the players were shocked and really concerned about him. Fortunately for Meyers, he was seen walking around the locker room after the game, but he is in concussion protocol right now, and he's just not going to play. The guy needs to rest up. He needs to pass all those tests. And it looks like a former Charger that the Raiders plucked, DeAndre Carter, is going to get some action in this upcoming game. And it's about time the Raiders steal some former Chargers players. They got Jerry Tillery last year, a former Chargers first-round pick. Now they have DeAndre Carter. Unfortunately, the Chargers do have former Raider Khalil Mack right now, and damn, really could be using that guy right now, especially with the Chandler Jones news. But DeAndre Carter is a shifty wide receiver who really made his mark in preseason on special teams. And what is crazy is, other than Jakobi Meyers and Devontae Adams, DeAndre Carter against the Denver Broncos was the only other wide receiver targeted. He had 1 target, 1 reception for 5 yards. For some reason, the Raiders are not targeting Hunter Renfrow. And this is shocking lots of Raiders fans and reporters. Hunter Renfrow only had 13 snaps in this past game against the Denver Broncos. And you got Levi Damien also saying that this does not add up. Josh McDaniels claims, hey, Renfrow just wasn't targeted. It was just a coincidence, man. But 13 snaps was only 22% of the offensive plays. And prior to McDaniels, under the previous regimes, Hunter Renfrow would account for roughly 70% of those snaps under John Gruden and Rich Bisaccia. There could only be 3 things happening right now. Either it's a coincidence like Josh McDaniels is saying, or the Raiders are trying to protect Hunter Renfrow, make sure he does not get hurt so they will be able to trade him. Or Hunter Renfrow, the former Pro Bowler just a few years ago, has just suddenly regressed. But I don't know, man. I've seen this guy run some amazing routes, and there's even video of him recently running some amazing routes in practice with the Raiders. And the Raiders do not seem like they're going to use Trey Tucker. He was the 3rd-round pick just this past year. He was not even activated for this past game against the Broncos, so it seems like Hunter Renfrow is definitely way ahead of him on the wide receiver depth chart. But the Raiders may be forced to use Hunter Renfrow in this upcoming game due to injuries to Jakobi Meyers. We'll see if they get it done. And everybody is doubting the Raiders against the Buffalo Bills. Everybody is saying there's not a chance in hell this could happen. The Raiders are almost 10-point underdogs in this game. Nobody believes in it. But I believe. I have personally placed my own bet. And you also have Chris Sims, the former football player, analyst now for NBC, saying that he really does believe the Raiders are going to shock the Buffalo Bills.
The Raiders are really well coached on both sides of the ball. We know they got a little bit of a pass rush. Their D-line, I think, is a little more talented than maybe I even gave it credit for there. Mike, I'm going to Crazyville here. I'm going with the upset. I'm going to go with going with the Raiders going to pull this off on the road. Wow. Okay?
And we know the Bills are at home, but there's just so much drama with the Buffalo Bills. They somehow have more drama than the Las Vegas Raiders. You got a reporter talking trash on Stefon Diggs and getting caught on the mic.
He's gonna do what he wants to do. He'll look at my face and say, F you. Oh. How he treats everybody.
This reporter is basically saying he's an asshole, he's entitled, he's a diva, and we've heard these claims about Stefon Diggs throughout his career. He was a diva with the Minnesota Vikings, and now he's a diva in Buffalo. And imagine if this happened to the Raiders. Imagine if one of our reporters got caught on a hot mic like that. That would be a little awkward, just to say the least. And this reporter for the Bills had to apologize. Stefon Diggs tried to act like an upstanding individual. He was really offended by her comments on social media. He said the audio shared was very hurtful and insulting to his character. But this reporter does not seem like she's making anything up. I would not be surprised if he says F you to random reporters and asks them to get out of his face. face. And many people believe that Stefon Diggs could be out of Buffalo. We've heard of these rumors in the offseason, and you have his brother, Trevon Diggs, on social media talking about this situation and saying, we got to get my bruh somewhere safe, meaning you got to get my brother to a new team. And obviously, because Trevon Diggs plays for the Cowboys, everybody thinks Jerry Jones is going to trade for Stefon Diggs. And I think Josh Allen, now back at home at Buffalo, if he messes up against the Raiders like he did against the Jets, you're going to have not only Stefon Diggs yelling at him, but you're going to have Bills fans yelling at him as well. And I believe Chris Sims, I think the Raiders could take advantage of this opportunity. If they make enough plays on defense, stay efficient on offense, they can catch the Bills slipping this week.
At a more of a passing game and weapons in the passing game to be scared of this week than they had to be last week with the New York Jets. You know, it's Allen and Diggs and Allen. That's all they got.
And just like Chris Sims is saying here, I think the Raiders have more weapons while the Bills are just stuck with Diggs. And due to the Chandler Jones situation, the Raiders are going to have to look elsewhere at defensive end in the meantime. And Tyree Wilson, the first round pick selected number 7 in this past draft, did not look good against the Denver Broncos. Many people are talking about his get off from the line of scrimmage, how he looks so slow, especially in comparison to Max Crosby, who was a monster like always. And at first I thought, hey, this is just one play. Give the rookie a break. He's coming off an injury. But I was able to locate about 5 different plays where he looked significantly slower off the line, not only compared to Max Crosby, but also compared to the defensive tackles as well. You could just see it right there. They're getting off much quicker than Tyree Wilson. And I'm not sure exactly why I said getting off, and that's really awkward now that I think about it. I think we're going to need to figure out a different term in the future. On the flip side, Malcolm Kuntz was rotating with Tyree Wilson, and I thought he looked good at times. Max Crosby had a sack in this past game, but Malcolm Kuntz was part of the equation, and his pressure was why Max Crosby was able to seal the deal and get the sack. So hopefully he could hold down the fort in the meantime, and Tyree Wilson could get healthier so he can become more of an impact player and live up to the first round pick hype. And ladies and gentlemen, it is absolutely insane what's been happening between Chandler Jones and the Raiders. We know it all started with him saying that he was locked out of the facility, claiming that Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler spoke to his baby mama, who he had not spoken to in quite some time. And then it all culminated in this Instagram video where he's claiming to leak stuff to TMZ and calling out them by their name.
You spook me? Man, TMZ hit my phone, man. Your boy got pictures, text messages. McDaniel Ziegler.
But this time, now, he is calling out Raiders owner Mark Davis. Chandler Jones has made a claim saying that he has a secret that he may expose about Mark Davis. And just a few days ago, he posted this exchange with Mark Davis, and Mark Davis was saying that the Raiders are the most important thing in his life, the most valuable asset, and Mark Davis sounded like a sweet guy here, man. He says he cares for you, the person, more than he cares for you, the player. I'm here for you, should you feel the need to talk man to man with respect. But then Chandler Jones put this little message here saying, y'all ask him if I can play. And this was a little weird. Chandler Jones did not add much context to this. But now today he has released a ton of different tweets. What was crazy is he first said that he wishes Mark Davis would say why he really can't play. And he wants Raiders fans, he wants you and I to go out there and ask him why he cannot play. Most fans are always asking Chandler Jones, hey, why can't you play? Why can't you play? And it seems like Chandler Jones's mouth is shut. He claims he's not allowed to say why, and he wants the Raiders, and mainly Mark Davis, to explain the situation. And we know the Raiders and Josh McDaniels have primarily said nothing about this, and all they have said is that it's a personal issue, and they left it at that. But Chandler Jones went on to say that no Raiders representative has contacted him or any of his representatives, and he's claiming that's the only reason why he's on social media talking about this. So he is claiming Mark Davis can say the real reason why he cannot play, and he wants Mark Davis to say it to the public. He doesn't want to be the guy to say it out loud to the public. What the hell is going on? Some people have speculated that this is maybe about a contract. The Raiders would not be able to get out of Chandler Jones' contract. He is paid a large sum of money, over $20 million a year, and most of it is guaranteed. The Raiders would eat so much dead money if they tried to move on from Chandler Jones. And Chandler Jones is saying that his dispute right now is not about money. He's made over $100 million in his career. He just wants to play Sunday. And this is the big kicker, and this is when things got a little too crazy and makes me wonder what the hell is going on. He went on to say that he wishes he could play with his brothers, but Marky Mark, it looks like he has a little nickname for Mark Davis, Marky Mark. But Marky Mark is holding a huge secret that only I know. That's why I was asking for my protection. Sorry if I sound scared because I'm not, LOL. When I found out, I was. He was scared when he found something out about Mark Davis, and he's claiming that he's making these tweets for his protection. And he says that Marky Mark, Mark Davis, has a huge secret that only he knows, and that is the reason why he is not playing. That is the reason why he claims he is being iced out by the Raiders. And then he went one step further, blackmailing, pretty much threatening the Raiders and Mark Davis. Chandler Jones went on to say, "I won't tell. I just want to play. But if I don't play, I tell everyone." Whoa. And look, we know Chandler Jones could just be off his rocker. We know he did some weird things, like he burned a letter that he wrote on social media and posted that it was a letter burning. And he was writing on the mirror. He posted that on Instagram. Not gonna lie, that is some pretty trippy behavior. And that would be the simple explanation for our minds, which would be that nothing he's saying is true and he's just off his rocker right now. And even if he is a little off right now, what if there is some truth and validity to what he is saying? The Raiders have said it's a personal matter, and Chandler Jones is saying that it's not about football anymore, and this is in response to a fan. Let him tell you what he's been doing. Him being Mark Davis, there is something he's been doing that only Chandler Jones knows, according to Chandler Jones. So if there is at least some truth to what Chandler Jones is saying, what do you guys think it is? We don't know right now, and apparently if he doesn't play this Sunday, we're going to find out. Like we mentioned earlier, the Raiders could really be using Chandler Jones at the edge position. Even though he didn't have a great year last year, he's still an upgrade over Tyree Wilson right now and Malcolm Koonce. And like we mentioned earlier, the Raiders are paying Chandler Jones a ton of money. Most of it is guaranteed. It's really crazy they're not utilizing the guy, even though they're invested in him. And you would think because he's physically healthy right now, the Raiders would try to get him back as quickly as possible and make do on the value of that contract. And it's really interesting that he's made this pivot. At first he talked about McDaniel Ziegler, and now he's going after Mark Davis. And maybe he is being iced out because of something regarding Mark Davis. And this would be a little bit of a relief for us Raiders fans, because then we would know that it's not a McDaniel Ziegler issue. They're good to go. They're not messing up with the player. And this is just a Mark Davis issue and another example of some of the dysfunction the Raiders have had over the past few years. And it really was weird the moment that the Raiders traded away Yannick Ngakoue and then signed Chandler Jones and gave him a fat contract, even though he is an older veteran pass rusher. Maybe there is a little more to the story why he got a fat contract and why it was later on restructured and pretty much fully guaranteed. Hopefully, we find out the truth soon so both sides can move forward and Raider Nation can move forward as well. We will be live during the Buffalo Bills versus Raiders game this Sunday on this channel, 10 a.m. Pacific time, keeping you up to date with what's happening, live play-by-play reaction and highlights. Make sure you join us on this channel live. My name is WiFiWillie, man. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.